Hi, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Toon Review Live on this Thursday night. Tonight's just going to be a general chat about Newcastle United, really, and the defeat to Crystal Palace, the upcoming game against Southampton. Obviously, Lazar's just left the club today, so we'll be discussing that. And just a few other things. Also, we'll be getting you guys on if you want to join the show. The link is pinned in the comments section, so if you want to join the show, follow the link and queue up, and we'll try and get you on the show for a chat with me and Peter. So Peter comes along now. Good evening, Peter.
How's it going, man?
It's going all right. We may as well dive into the Crystal Palace game just as a kick-off, really. I saw your review, your player ratings, etc. Were you as angry as me? Because I think the Newcastle fan base is a bit torn at the minute.
Yeah, I mean, like, it was a frustrating game. You could say, I mean, like, it was another opportunity to try and get another win. But I think some shambolic defending has massively cost with it. I mean, that second goal massively. Just allow Cahill to get a header on like that. And boy, in second half, it just felt like we give up. Yes, well, we're having chances, but they were just going over the crossbar every single time. And
yeah.
Not to mention that idiot just standing there with his hands in his pockets with that look on his face as well, which you pointed out as well. I mean, God almighty. It just shows the absolute true colours of this manager we have, and he should not be anywhere near this football club anymore. And he has to be gone. I can't trust him anymore.
No, I think the trust element has all gone, hasn't it? I mean, I've had a few comments on my video, well, one or two, not many, but saying I was too aggressive. Everybody that knows me knows I wear my heart on my sleeve when it comes to doing reviews and previews and things like that. And I was more pissed off with the manager, to be honest. I was so annoyed. This Graeme Jones thing as well has got people talking. Was he in the stands? Was he, on the touchline? I've been informed by someone who was in the stadium that he came down for 10 minutes and then he was back up in the stands. He wasn't, contrary to some of the newspaper reports, he wasn't on the touchline the full game. I find it highly disgusting that Steve Bruce would do that. And I know why he's done it, because, it's obvious why he's done it, isn't it?
Oh, well, yeah, he's looked at them photos after the Everton game, and he's probably looking and thinking there, hold on, it sounds like this bloke's trying to take over my job. Sorry, I'm gonna be banishing him to the stands for the next game. What an absolute disgrace that was.
Yeah. I mean, the performance in, first half was decent. I mean, as usual, we start off really well in the first half. We get the goal, which was a lovely hit by Shelby, and then all of a sudden I don't know, it was just like same old, going back into our shell again, and then letting Palace come back onto us. The Palace equaliser, really, I mean, Riedewald's shot was he thumped it, didn't he? It was a hard thump, and it came off Clark's shoulder. So Darlow really didn't stand a chance with it. I was disappointed with the marking on him. I thought he was giving acres of space again on the edge of the box. But what really got me was the second goal. Not just the, element of Cahill being allowed the freedom of St. James's Park. It was the free kick that Lewis gave away. He just has to improve on his tackling, because he went backwards for me again against Palace after a good performance against Everton.
Yeah, he did. I mean, I know he said he is still young. He is still trying to learn. But yeah, he needs to defend a lot better, or he needs to get the tackle in completely right, because that was silly what he gave away. And that massively cost us in conceding that second goal as well. I'm more annoyed about the defending for the second goal. I mean, who is tight on Cahill?
Yeah, exactly. It was shocking, really, that he was. I mean, the amount of time he had to run and then jump to head the ball, that nobody tracked him, and it was just so annoying to see that happen. The second half, I mean, a lot of people have said, "Oh, we played really well second half," and yeah, we did to a degree. But when you think about all those shots we had compared to what was on target.
Yeah, I mean, are there clear-cut chances? Well, no, there weren't.
No.
I mean, they were just blazing over the ball, particularly from Shea. I mean, come on, at least try and work the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
So again, it was poor second half in terms of those chances. I mean, we just didn't work the goalkeeper in the second half.
Well, what got me about the second half was the slow build up again. You know what I mean? The passing across the midfield. There was no urgency there. Now, there was urgency there against Everton because somebody was there shouting from the touchline. And I've mentioned in my preview for the Southampton game that he needs to be back on the touchline because Steve Bruce is not a motivator, is he?
No, well, it just says it all when he's just standing there with his hands in his pockets with that look. I can't be asked. And that just says it all. You can tell he cannot be asked anymore. And that's really touchline.
Yeah, I mean, James Ritchie says there, good evening, James. A loss on Saturday is written in the stars. Teams out of form always beat us. I hope I'm wrong, Bruce out. We'll come on to the Southampton game very shortly. I just want to talk about this guy, Peter, Ashraf Lazar. Obviously, today he has left the club, mutual termination of his contract. So he won't be with us anymore. I think that's the right move for all parties, really. Lazar can go and find football somewhere else.
Yeah, I mean, it's just not worked out for him at the football club. I know he hasn't played a lot, but I've seen some of the recent performances and they've not looked good at all. I mean, it was that game back in the Asia Trophy back in July 2019. And I think it was the second goal we conceded, and he comes from like left back to right back, where he doesn't need to be there.
Yeah.
He was just fanning around being Bambi on ice. And it just proved that he had to be moved on.
Yeah, it's again, who scouted him? You know what I mean? I mean, I mean, obviously Rafa was there. Rafa brought him in, didn't he? And I think he's been sort of, that was one of Rafa's mistakes, if any. It was, I mean, I think he's played about 7 games for Newcastle, 7 first-team games since he came. I mean, that's not good enough, is it really? But never mind. Jake, good evening, mate. I was pissed off, and I'm not even a Newcastle fan. Just transparent politics to the detriment of your club. It was. I mean, this is Steve Bruce trying to put a message out to the fans, isn't it? That he is in charge. He is the main man. And what'll be. But it backfired right up his arse against Palace, Peter.
Oh, it did. I mean, you're sending Graeme Jones to the stand. You're just standing there with your hands in your pockets on the touchline.
Yeah.
I mean, God almighty. I've never seen a manager in my life ever do that at this football club.
Mm-hmm. It was just, I mean, the fact that, he looked lost in the second half, didn't he, Steve Bruce? And he did the same as he normally does. He brings on, all his forwards to try and rescue the game. For me, St. Maximin, I said this in my review, St. Maximin should have been on at half time. Hendrick should have been off and he should have gone 4-2-3-1. That's the formation that I want us to play against Southampton. And I think it's our best formation given the 4 attackers that we've got in the game. Sickly Cloud says, why is Steve Bruce still at Newcastle? Well, there's a $6 million question. Thomas, good evening.
Get rid of him yet.
Yeah. Thomas, good evening to you. Evening, lads. Lazar has left yet. We just mentioned that. I wish him all the best. I've got nothing against Lazar. He hasn't done anything wrong. He's just obviously he's not good enough. Simple as that. Valerie, good evening.
Good evening.
Evening, Paul and Peter. Andrew Seaton, good evening. Geordie Talk, hello to you. Evening, Paul and PD. Hope you're doing well. Stephen, hope you're well, mate. Andrew Seaton, 6-pointer on Saturday. We may as well move on to the game on Saturday, Peter, against Southampton. This is going to be a tough game. Southampton are not an easy pushover, but one of the things that has come out, certainly from recent reports, is that they are down to their bare bones with players because of injuries. They've got, I think, 1 suspension, but listening to Raf Husenhadel talk, and they are down to their bare bones for Saturday's game, and now that should surely give us an advantage.
Hopefully it will be, but again, I don't think it's going to be easy. I know Southampton, after their first 9 defeat off Leicester, they managed to bounce back.
Yeah.
Regain the form. That is also, you could say, a bit of a worry. for us as well. They have got some really good players like Danny Ings. You got Armstrong's a really canny player. Shea Adams as well. You got Theo Walcott as well. So
that was my fear, Peter. If Walcott's playing, he will. I've mentioned this in my review as well. If you haven't seen it, go and watch it. Walcott will undoubtedly target Jamal Lewis. I mean, Walcott will. Yeah, I mean, they'll have watched videos
back in November.
Of course, he did.
He absolutely tore us to bits.
Given how poor that Lewis is with his tackling, etc., it's a worry, isn't it? Really,
it is. Yeah. Hopefully, that was just a one-off game for Lewis. So hopefully, if Graeme is out on that touchline, hopefully he can get Lewis back to how he was playing against Everton. Make sure he does get the tackles in correctly. Make sure he does bomb forward, try to get the crosses into the box, because I thought that was a bit of a letdown as well against Palace. As well, some of his final balls as well. So, yeah, if we do have Jones on the touchline, I think we've definitely, hopefully, got a chance of getting back to form again.
Yeah, it's just the way Jones can sort of dictate from the sidelines. What I was impressed what he was doing at Everton was he was telling players, what Everton were doing, if they were trying to make runs around the back or where their danger was. And he was pointing that out to the back four all the time. And that's why I think, don't get us wrong. Graeme Jones isn't the Messiah. He didn't win that game or anything. All I'm saying is sometimes the players need guidance on the pitch. And when you watch Graeme Jones, he was guiding them. That's why I think the back four looked a lot more solid, especially Lewis, because he had that guidance in his ear pretty much the full game. He was getting forward, he was getting back, and it just goes to show that can make a big difference to a player.
Absolutely. I mean, and you've got also the assistant telling players what they need to do as well, not just him in particularly. Make sure they are pushing forward, they are attacking, defending when they have to, and you've got a chance. You've got a chance. But you haven't got a chance if you just stand there with your hands in your pockets with that smug face.
Oh, it's starting to annoy me every time the camera pans onto him.
I kind of bit. People with these press conferences now.
Yeah, don't listen to them.
I'm sick to death of hearing them now.
I just wait till it comes up on Twitter what he said, and then I'll react to it after that. I just think he's just so arrogant. The man is so arrogant. It just it boils me up. It really does. Daniel Ford, good evening. Good evening to you. 100% Mags. Hope you're well, mate. Hope you have a great show tonight, lads. I joined it tonight, but I have food coming at 8:30. I'll be watching it back on repeat. Have a good one. I had my takeaway just before we came on, so I'm sorted. Nice bit of kebab meat and chips with garlic sauce, mate. Just a weekly treat. Michael, good evening to you. Hi, lads. Could defeat against Southampton see Bruce sacked at last, or will Ashley continue to roll the dice? Oh, it's a tough one for me. I've said in my review that I think it could be, if we lose to Southampton, it could be curtains for Steve Bruce. Especially the way Southampton are at the moment, Peter. You've got to think a depleted side like that, who've just been thumped 9-0. They're in a horrible rut. They've lost the last 4 games, and they're coming to St James's Park in a terrible, terrible state. We have to take this opportunity, and if we don't, surely Steve Bruce is gone.
Well, he has to be, because we are still within the mix of going into that relegation zone. The other teams, the will still look to try and catch points. But if we just continue going on a massive rot of a run again like we previously did, my word. I mean, it's only going to cost now, as I mentioned, $1.5 million to sack him. I mean, what would you rather do? Pay $1.5 million to sack an absolutely tactically inept manager, or risk going getting relegated and losing an absolute tons of money, millions of money?
Yeah,
I know what I'd take it all day long.
Exactly, and I'm just amazed that Mike Ashley isn't doing that, because of the situation and the amount of money he could lose through all of this, just by not willing to part with 1.5 million, which, let's face it, is a drop in the ocean for Mike Ashley.
It is. I mean, you know what it's like when Mike Ashley comes to money. He doesn't like to spend, or he just like to spend very, very little. But 1.5 million, it's pennies in football these days now.
Yeah, it is without a doubt. Just to remind you guys, you can come on the show tonight and join us. The link is pinned in the live comments. So if you want to come on and have a chat with me and Pete about anything that's bugging you about Newcastle United, please feel free. Just click on the link and you'll enter the studio. I'll be able to see when you're on, and I'll bring you onto the show for a little bit of a chat with me and Peter. Brian has commented, Lazar laughing all the way to the bank, a very lucky man. Yeah, I think, like I say, I wish him good luck. He's obviously made a fortune for his time at Newcastle. But, it just goes to show that, not everything Rafa did was perfect, Peter.
No, that was the thing. Like, we all knew we made mistakes now and then. So, yeah, just wasn't meant to be for Lazar, this football club.
David, I think you're trying to join the show. Your camera keeps flashing up and then it just goes black, mate. I don't know whether it's the connection or something like that, but you keep coming and going. And I can't actually see. It's just a black screen. I'm not sure what's going on there. Paul Jackson says, evening, lads. Hope you're well, Paul. Jake, main danger man for Southampton. Well, they've got a few, haven't they? I mean, if fit. Ings, Jay Adams, he had a very slow start to the season, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
But he's starting to score goals, and obviously there's Walcott.
Yes, another one I've forgot to mention, Ward-Prowse. He's very dangerous on set pieces there as well.
Yeah. That's my worry, is that that's why we need to improve our tackling on Saturdays, because if we give free kicks away to the likes of Ward-Prowse, we are in serious trouble.
Oh, massively, yeah. And we can't afford to do
that. Trolls, good evening, matey. Hey, all. Paul Jackson says Southampton are out for revenge from the 9-0 loss. They will be up for the game. Don't write them off. Nobody's writing them off, Paul. I think that would be a silly thing to do, because we know that Southampton have got some very, very talented players in their side, but so have we. And the fact that Hoosenhardl has already been on and said they're down to bare bones, whether that's just a ploy, Peter, to put Newcastle into a different way of thinking for the game and things like that. I mean, managers are, they've been known to do that in the past. But I just feel because of the injuries and some important players missing, this is our chance. It's our big chance to get 3 points, which we desperately need.
Well, absolutely. We do need the points. We need to try and be away from that relegation zone as far as we can. I mean, because if we go down again this season, I doubt we're going to come straight back up. That is the thing. That is the real concern for me. Is God knows how many seasons we could spend in the Championship if we end up doing get relegated. So it is a big game on Saturday, and it is a must-win as well. But it's not going to be easy as well, because I think Southampton will look and think, hopefully we can regain after that. We've been known to do it after Leicester, and we will have to watch out. I mean, when we went down there in November, we got absolutely blown over.
We did. We did.
Completely in that game.
It's a worry. Obviously, with the way we've been defending, I think, letting silly goals in and switching off, that's what we can't afford to do. If we go out there and take the lead against Southampton and then suddenly, we go back into that silly phase of, not concentrating and conceding a goal. Because if we give Southampton a goal, their confidence can only grow, and yes, they want to win. Yeah, go on, Pete.
We're not normally known to come back very good after when we go a goal down into the game as well, or we've come away with a draw, like it's been against Spurs. It's been against Fulham as well. Yeah,
exactly. So it's not going to be a straightforward game. Sickly Cloud says, what has happened to Matt Ritchie not played for like 4 games? I'm not sure, Peter, what's going on with Matt Ritchie, because obviously there was the move to Bournemouth. We thought that was going to be happening on Monday on deadline day. He was told by Newcastle United that he wasn't getting sold. He would be remaining at Newcastle. But Steve Bruce made the comment that he just needs to put his head down and work hard. Now, for me, Matt Ritchie is one of the hardest working players we've had at the club in a long time.
I like him as well. I think he grabs. He likes to play. Get down, get his head down, and go for it. And I think he could be a talker on the pitch as well. I mean, it goes back to Rafa's last season. You can tell when he got substituted for this game of the season against Spurs, and you could tell that anger on his face because he didn't want to be off.
Yeah.
It just shows he likes to play into the game. He really, really does.
I mean, you know, we talk about has there something gone on with Sean Longstaff and Steve Bruce, and now we're saying, is it the same case with Matt Ritchie? Has he had a falling out somewhere along the lines with Steve Bruce? It's very hard to tell because he tends to leave players out for so long.
Can do, but I'm see. It's been a tough season for Sean Longstaff. I mean, he's gone way off form, but again, you do question: has there been a bust up? I mean, there was questions of bust. Has he had bust ups with the likes of ASM and other players?
It does make you worry. It does make you worry. Andrew says Jake's no must be Ings or Ward-Prowse. Talking about the Southampton danger men, definitely Ward-Prowse from free kicks, and Danny Ings without a shadow of a doubt. He is. I mean, we were linked with him at one stage, Peter. It would have been nice to have had Danny Ings, but
he did. But what did just let it slip away as always.
Yeah, I mean, you're going about, you know, Steve Bruce goes on about Willems getting that injury and not playing, and then you look at somebody like Danny Ings, who's had 2 pretty serious injuries, and he's bounced back. Yeah.
Yes.
So, you know, Steve Bruce can stick it up his jacksy, you know, for that matter. I can't believe he hasn't brought Willems back, mate. I really can't. I thought
Willems was really quality going forward.
So paid off.
That is a massive loss of not bringing him back so far.
Yeah. Nat, good evening. Evening, lads. Do you think Lazar was Rafa's worst signing? There's a question. It's one of them, isn't it?
You could say. I mean, he will have had some really other poor players. I mean, Hosselu, for example. My God, watching him, who just couldn't hit a barn door a lot of the time, and there will be some others.
Yeah, definitely. Right, we'll try and bring David in here because I can see him at the minute. Now, Peter, just to warn you, David is the mysterious Newcastle fan who we thought was a Mackem but isn't a Mackem. So we'll bring him in. Good evening, David.
Good evening, lads.
How are you doing?
Yeah.
Well, what was your thoughts about the game the other night then against Crystal Palace?
I was losing my temper watching them, and him just standing there with his hands in his pockets, looking like a proper cabbage.
Yeah. I think that's what annoyed us all, really, is the fact that he just stood there with his hands in his pockets, not really having a clue about what was going on, and then just letting the game pass him by.
Yeah, he was clueless. You can see he's clueless.
Yeah. So, would you make any changes to the team on Saturday to face Southampton, David?
Yep, straight away.
Right. So, who would you bring in?
I would take out Lewis.
Yeah.
And bring in Matt Ritchie.
You'd play Matt Ritchie at left back, would you?
Yeah. Okay,
that's an interesting one. Peter, what would you put Matt Ritchie at left back?
He's played there before.
He can play left back. I know he can play wing back, but I know some people have also been saying that so far just haven't got the faith in Lewis at the moment. But it's an option. You could try it out.
I think the thing is with Lewis, you know, do we keep playing him to get more games and get a bit more confidence?
I would take out Hendricks and
definitely
play Joe Willock.
Yeah, well, that's an option. I mean, I've said in my review that I think Willock will be on the bench. I don't think he'll start straight away. If we go 4-2-3-1, I think it could be Hayden and Shelvey, and then Willock could come on at some point during the game. I haven't got him down to start. I know some people have. I know Sharky on Toonami TV. He's got Hayden and Willock to start, Peter. So that's an interesting combination.
One. If he goes with Willock, okay. I mean, we've brought him in, I suppose, for a reason to try and boost that midfield, because it hasn't been one of the strongest points this season. Apart from Hayden's been the solid. Shelvey has looked on and off. Sean has had a really poor season. And Matty, what's happened?
Well,
what's happened
I think
again?
Bust up there.
You think there's been a bust-up?
Yeah.
I think both the long staffs have possibly fallen out with Bruce over time. I think Matty, for me, is the mystery one, because I think, he should have gone out on loan. It would have been a really good move for him. I think that should have happened. And I think Sean possibly should have gone on loan as well. But then again, we don't want to lose too many players. Out of both the long staffs. Exactly. And that probably would have been a really good move for him, because he would have got first team football. And certainly for Sean, he needs to find some form again. He needs to get back to, how he was playing under Rafa.
Well, exactly. I mean, it was just the passing sideways and backwards that really baffled me with Sean Longstaff this season. I think this is not the Sean Longstaff I brought up through the academy.
No,
but
definitely not.
Do you think it's the players, or do you think it's the manager that they're not playing for?
I think so. I think a lot of them do not want to play under Bruce, and you said it as well, Paul. You can't blame them, because who wants to play dross football week in, week out?
You have to have some hope that some of these players have got ambition, and some of these players just they want to win things, they want to do well, and they don't like being made to look fools. And at the minute with Steve Bruce, they are looking like fools because of the tactics. I think obviously the last couple of games have been a little bit better. I was as I say, I've said my piece about Graeme Jones being in the stands the other night. I think it was absolutely shocking decision. I think Steve Bruce has just done that to pay everybody off, basically, and say, right, I'm the main man. Geordie Talk says it should be a boost to us knowing they're down to the bare bones. We've got to go for it no matter what. We said that, Peter. We've got to go for it. We've got to be on the front foot and give Southampton nothing from the start.
We would do, and we've just got to cut out silly errors. It was, for example, the second goal was conceded against Palace. It's just shambolic defending. We just cut out, make sure you're tight on the man as well, and then you've got a less chance. Because I didn't think...
I was watching the watch along with you, John and Paul.
Oh, the Four Horsemen, yeah.
No, the watch
on Monday.
Along
the watch along on John's channel.
Yeah. I was watching you on there, watching the game, and I could see you were getting so frustrated with the way we were playing.
Yeah.
But we started off well, and then all of a sudden we went back into the shell again.
Yeah, that's what frustrates me about Newcastle is the fact that so many games, not just the Palace game, we started well, and then we've fallen away and let teams back into the game. Liam Humble, good evening. Thoughts on Yedlin to Galatasaray? We spoke about this on Monday, Peter, on the Four Horsemen show, and we said it was a good move for all parties. That Yedlin had probably done his time at Newcastle and needed a new fresh start.
Yeah, like I said, he was good for pace, but I just thought the defending and the final balls were starting to let him down massively, and he was getting caught out a lot. And the one that really annoyed me was the goal we conceded against Brentford. It was like from a throw-in, and the ball that goes to the player who assisted the goal. Yedlin's just feel like he's in no man's land, and he's very slow to come across to try and stop that ball.
Yeah, that's
why I thought we had to move Yedlin on.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
I think he'll do well for Galatasaray. I think the league will probably suit him. I think he'll do a good job. He's still got a few years left, I think, hasn't he? So he's not exactly finished, but I think for Premier League he probably was. 100% Max says, thanks, lads. Hopefully a win against the Saints. We're praying. Jules says, Bruce is not a cabbage anymore. He's a lettuce. Yeah, I think it's fading away, isn't it? Cabbage to a lettuce, but we'll 100%.
When we go back to the games, we're going to have to go with cabbages and lettuces.
Oh, I think the fruit and veg sellers will do really well when the fans are allowed back. That's if Steve Bruce is still in charge. My hope is that by the time we're allowed back in the stadium, he's long gone.
On that touchline, who's got ideas who could certainly get him.
I would really love to see Eddie Howe come and take over.
Eddie Howe, we've mentioned him before. I I think if Bruce goes, I think that without a shadow of a doubt, I think Graeme Jones will take over. I have no doubt about that. He's not going to just bring Jones in to then sack Bruce and all his backroom staff are gone. I don't think it'll work like that, quite honestly. But time will tell. 100% Mag says if anyone wants to join the lads tonight, here is the link. Yeah, it's in the live comments. It's pinned. So get yourself clicked on and hopefully you'll join us. We've got Liam who says, did you see that Joe Linton had a haircut? Might wake him up when the police come to his house. Yeah, we spoke about this a lot on Monday. He shouldn't have done what he did. We are pretty peed off about it. But to be honest, it was good the other night when we had, it was basically, where's Joe Linton kind of show. And we were getting some hilarious comments coming in.
He's been fined £200 by the police.
Yeah, I just saw that before we came on.
The club should now step in and fine him as well, and it's only right.
Yeah, of course it is.
He's number 9 at this football club. Well, shouldn't ever be number 9, and you're doing that. Agreed.
I wholeheartedly agree with you. Obviously, I don't think John Sinclair would agree with you, Peter, but if he's watching it, well, he won't be watching because he'd be doing business again. We know what he's like with the fish and chip shops and his Blythe butchers. He'd be getting sponsorship deals left, right, and centre. Well, John at the minute. Even John, if you're watching, top man. I love the guy that I love him.
Oh, he's absolutely love him.
Andrew Archer, good evening, lads. I will join your stream soon. Good lad, Archer. Get yourself on. Joel says, Jones, thy will be done. Yes. I think as long as Steve Bruce doesn't have a say on where he is, I just think Mike Ashley might be looking at that and thinking that was a bit of a shitty move. Hopefully he is. And hopefully Mike Ashley or Charney will have a word in Bruce's ear and say, don't pull a stunt like that again, son. It would be nice, but whether they get involved, I don't know. Michael says, apparently Willock will get a start against the Saints. Well, I haven't got him to start, Michael, in my review. I don't know whether you've watched that video yet. I haven't got him to start. I've got him to come on probably later on in the game. I think throwing him straight in, Peter, might be a bit risky.
It could do, but we'll wait and see. I think if he does start, Bruce probably wants to see what he can offer, what he can do.
Yeah. It's a bit weird, really, because, I mean, he hasn't played a lot of games. That's the only thing for me.
He's played a lot of Europa League games.
He has, yeah.
He's played a lot of cup games as well. I've seen him play, and he isn't too bad. He's quite talented. Well, Arsenal fan says he's still got a lot more to offer. He's still got a few things that he needs to learn as well. Yeah. They've agreed. They think the loan move has done him good.
Well, the Arsenal fans I spoke to about Willock are pretty confident he'll do well for us. So, we can only go off what they say. I haven't seen a lot of him. What do you think? Go on.
I spoke to my cousin because he's the academy coach at Arsenal.
Right.
And he said Willock is one of our best players. He says you'll do well for you. You'll keep yours up.
Well, we can only hope. That's a certainty. Peter, one for you. John Bruce says, "Hi, Paul. Could you ask Peter if he is related to Artie Proudlock, who lived at the Hadston Estate in Broomhill, Northumberland?"
I'm afraid not.
No. That sounds like a very, very posh person, though, doesn't it? Lived at the Hadston Estate in Broomhill, Northumberland. Yeah. I'm sure, John, if Peter was related, he'd be living in a castle driving a Ferrari. But unfortunately, he's not.
No.
Never mind. Brian says Riviere. I presume he meant Riviere. Andrew says, Andreas Anderson, one of the worst strikers in Premier League history. Yes, he didn't really hit the ground running with Newcastle, but he did do well elsewhere. And that's what you've got to take into consideration, that a lot of players are not suited to the Premier League and, do well in other leagues, Pete.
Yes, I mean, it's happened with the likes of Cabela and Tovan. They were really good for their previous clubs, but they just couldn't hack it with the Premier League.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that was the shame.
Yeah, I think Tovan's gone from strength to strength in France, hasn't he? He's
that's his league.
It is, definitely agree. He's worth a lot of money now as well. Toon Legend, good evening. Get Harry Redknapp in, Bruce out. I couldn't see, Harry Redknapp's been mentioned by a couple of people, but I can't see him coming to work for Ashley. I just think
I mean, like
he wouldn't come to Newcastle. He's been off at Newcastle before.
Yeah, he has.
And he's been out of management a while, and people think he's a bit outdated now. But
totally agree. Right, David, we've got other people wanting to come in, mate. So thank you for joining the show tonight.
No
keep watching us and keep your comments coming in, because obviously you're a valued member of the show, certainly with the Four Horsemen and everything. So
definitely.
Keep going, mate. All right, take care. So that was David there. Like I say, the link to the program is in the live comments if you want to come on and join us. Now we've got Sean. I don't know what's going on with your link, mate, but you're flashing on and off again. I don't know whether it's the software or a problem. We've got NUFC fans here, but there's no picture. Is anyone there? Hello? It's like a phone in this, Peter. We don't know who's there or who's not there.
Yeah,
he's not there. Sean, good evening. I can see you now. We'll try and bring you in. No, he's gone again. Sean, I don't know what's happening, mate. You're not there. Hang on a minute. What's going on with this software here? I've no idea. Anyway, let's have a look. Geordie, good evening, mate. What you doing in the changing room, Paul? Well, funny enough, I was on a tour of the ground today, and I decided just to hide in the toilets and wait till everybody had gone home, and then I thought I'll do the show from the Toon changing room tonight. Obviously, to me green screen, I'm going for a new look instead of that crazy silhouetted wall with Big Ben in the background, because I don't live anywhere near Big Ben. So I thought, well, that's a bit stupid having that in the background, but never mind. But good evening, Geordie. Sharky, good evening, mate. Hope you're well. Sharky will be joining us on the Four Horsemen of the Toon on Monday night, stepping in for Barry, who was working. So it'll be good to have James back on. He says the problem is we lose to Southampton on Saturday. Steve Bruce will still keep his job. As long as Fulham are not claiming any points, his job is safe. Relegation would be a record low points total. You can't disagree with that, Peter, because, you know, we're right in the mire here.
Also, that because some of the games where majority have been losing, he's still here. He's not gone. Actually, still hasn't pulled the trigger on him, has he?
Well, it all boils down to this money, apparently, Pete. It's all about the money. It's all about how much Steve Bruce has to be paid off. And he's just not going to pay it.
No, I mean, Jesus Christ.
Pain in the arse. Richard, good evening from the Over and Over and Over Again Arsenal Positive channel. Great channel down there following Arsenal Football Club. He does previews and reviews of games and gets guests onto his channel. I've guested on there a couple of times. Really good channel. So if you're a football fan, get subscribed to his channel. Richard says you've got Pawson as ref this weekend. Good luck with that. He's one of the worst referees in the league.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, honestly, when I seen that that David Luiz got sent off, I'm thinking, really? Serious? Yeah. I mean, he gets sent off when the bloke who went down in the penalty box tapped with his boot on his knee. He goes down and he sends Luiz off. And Arsenal have tried to appeal that, and it's been knocked back.
Oh. I know. I can't believe it's been knocked back, to be honest. I mean, these rules they were talking about on one of the AFTV the other day, and they said that because he didn't make any attempt to go for the ball, that's why he got sent off.
But he didn't touch the man?
I mean, there was a tiny clip on his knee, wasn't there? Because he was running. But then, because he didn't make a challenge, he got sent off. Had he made a challenge and missed the ball, he would have stayed. He would have stayed on the pitch. I don't get that rule at all.
Exactly. And I do sympathise with the Arsenal fans that have come out and questioned, say, "Oh, the referee absolutely ruined the game. He cheated." Yeah, I can understand why they've come out and said that, because
I mean, the Leno one was.
I think we'd be absolutely raging.
Oh, I'd be raging. Yeah, definitely, without a doubt.
I mean, that is one of the worst referee decisions I've ever seen in my entire life. I thought the was it when we got beat off Nottingham Forest 2-1 in the Championship back in 2016.
Oh yeah, with all the penalties.
We got Shelby sent off where he didn't even touch the bloke.
Yep.
Got Dummett sent off for barely touched the lad. That David Luiz is up there with some of the worst refereeing decisions.
I just can't believe it hasn't been overturned, Peter. I cannot believe.
They've overturned. There's the Bednarak.
Yes, they have. They've overturned that one.
Overturned that one.
I know, it's crazy, isn't
it? Rejected that. I mean, okay.
It's all madness. Gordon, watching on Facebook, good evening to you. Hope you're well, mate. Liam says Fraser's work rate or Maxi work rates, fantastic. Both of them really. They were.
I
John,
think it's more to come from Ryan Fraser, particularly.
Yeah, definitely. John says thanks for that, Peter, for telling him that you're not related to, whoever the rich Proudlock is that's living in Northumberland. Unless next time I see Peter for a pint, once COVID's over, he pulls up in a red Ferrari, then questions are going to be asked.
Well, the thing is, I don't drive there, so no, probably not. I don't drive, unfortunately.
Wait, if you don't drive, you can get a driver, Peter, if you've got that much money, mate. Anyway, another guest coming on, familiar to everybody on this channel. Sharky, good evening.
Evening, lads. How's it going?
Not too bad. Calmed down a bit since the other night. Like I say, I said at the start of the show, my frustrations on my review video were simply because of the manager. He pissed me off from the word go. Whether Jones was in the stands the whole game or not, it doesn't really matter anymore. Bruce was there in the coaching area doing absolutely sod all.
What does he do? Do you know what I mean? Apart from puffed his cheeks and walking around the dugout as if like he doesn't want to be here. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I'd rather a manager come in who's actually motivated enough to want to get the best out of these bunch of lads. Because, like I say, I believe in the players that we've got. They've all got great attributes. They can, definitely do something and they can definitely push on. But with Steve Bruce, it just feels like they're really shocked to be here. Like they don't want to. They'd rather be somewhere else than be, getting managed under Steve Bruce. But Tuesday's game was just frustrating because for me we didn't kick on from being 1-0 up and. 2 lapses of concentration has ultimately cost us.
Do you think? I've said in the second half that I thought we were too slow. Yes, we had a lot of shots flying over the bar here and there. We didn't really test the keeper, but then the build-up play was so slow. We were just knocking it across the midfield again, and there wasn't really any urgency. But what I think people some supporters have failed to see is that was Crystal Palace's game plan. They were letting us knock the ball around in midfield, and as soon as we got to their final third, they shut us down, and they shut us down well. And they were forcing us to shoot miles over the bar, and it worked.
Yeah, Crystal Palace grab a couple of goals, men behind the ball, hit Newcastle on the counter-attack when we're open. And when we did get the ball in the second half, yes, we had a lot of possession. It's all good having a lot of possession, but it's what you do with it that counts. And you've just said there, we put shots over the crossbar. We didn't, batter a glove on Guaita. You barely had anything to do, and the quality was just lacking. Unfortunately, it's been the story of this season. We're just lacking in that final third. And if you take away Callum Wilson's goals, I think we're honestly snookered. We wouldn't be where we are anyway. We'd be in the bottom 3.
Yeah, we mentioned it before. I mean, it just sort of. It's mind-numbingly boring when we're passing it across the midfield without any urgency to get forward. And then when we do get forward, the shooting was dreadful, absolutely dreadful. And what did you make of the substitutions, Sharky? Because I thought he should have had St. Maximin on at half-time. He should have brought off Hendrick. I think you said that in your review as well, I believe, when I watched it.
Yeah.
I think he should have gone 4-2-3-1 at half-time, and it could have been a different story.
Listen, I mean, I'm no manager, but ESM is the best at the club in terms of quality. He should start the game, at least give him an hour, 65 minutes, take him off and bring someone else on. But if you're going to go the route of start Hendrick, for me, he wasn't pulled up any trees out wide. You start Hendrick. You take off Hendrick at half-time, you bring on ASM for the last 45 minutes and just let him get at that Crystal Palace defence because they were there for the taking, And I look back at that game. For me, it wasn't even a point dropped; it was 3 points dropped because
I agree.
We're looking at Crystal Palace as if they're like Tottenham and Arsenal, and these they're not. You know what I mean? They've got quality. Didn't get us wrong, but they're not special. And for me, there's 3 points dropped that could have really pulled us further clear of the relegation zone, and results were in our favour as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Bar Brighton.
I mean, I couldn't believe Brighton's result last night. I couldn't. Sean, I know you're trying to get on, mate, but we've got a serious issue. I don't know whether it's your internet or not. It's just all I'm getting is a black screen, and then you come on for a couple of seconds and disappear again. I don't know what's going on. I can't get you on because it's just flashing black all the time. Never mind. I know you're watching though, so thank you very much for doing that. Never mind, Joe Linton should take a pay cut. I don't know whether you saw the Four Horsemen show on Monday night, Sharky. People commenting on where they'd seen Joe Linton was just an absolute howler. John was getting absolutely hammered. It was just so funny. He was, 1 minute he was outside Ashington Football Club, then he was at South Shields, then he was outside Blythe Butchers again, and honestly,
he was trying to get a loan to me back garden. I wouldn't let him.
He's never, ever going to live that comment down. I mean, obviously, you were on the show when he made that comment.
£15 million for Joe Linton. Now you're actually taking the. I'm not going to say anything more, but come on.
I know. I just, I think, he's never, ever going to live that comment down because, all those comments that were coming in on Monday, and I think we're going to get them for the foreseeable future.
Absolutely. What he said was it the first time he said on the show what Steve Bruce says, which I'll not say, but on.
Aye, yeah.
Oh, yes.
About, certain items of, on your arms.
He's so predictable, isn't he, Steve Bruce? Honestly.
Oh, God, honestly, he's a pain in the arse. Gordon Redpath says, when Ashley finally F's off if the Saudis take over, who do you want as manager? So, we've spoke about before about who we want in before the takeover, but we've never really spoke about who we think would be ideal to come in after a takeover. I mean, obviously, Rafa's mentioned. I'll start with you, Peter. Who would be your ideal manager? Let's leave Rafa out of it. So if we're not going with Rafa, and we got taken over, we had the ability to bring in the world's biggest names in management. Who would your ideal target be?
See, I would have loved to have had a Pochettino, but he's gone to PSG when he was linked during the times of the takeover when it all first broke out. So, it's a hard one.
I'll play devil's advocate with that one, Peter. He's never won anything.
True, but...
So would you go with somebody that hasn't won anything, or would you want somebody who has trophies and a serial winner on their CV?
Oh, you'd see again, it is hard. But,
it is, yeah. It is.
You probably would want someone who has a good trophy, but you're thinking who is available. I mean,
yeah.
Is Allegri available still?
I believe so. I haven't seen him take a job. Sharky, who would you go for?
This is a funny one. I'd actually go for Steven Gerrard because Liverpool and Newcastle have Liverpool and Newcastle have that connection of we're working class cities, and he understands passion. Yeah. He understands football fans and how they work, and he was just such a passionate player, and he's the same as a manager. And I think that's a sort of manager Newcastle wants, someone who can thrive off, someone who's got passion, someone who bark instructions on the touchline. He'll jump up and down. He'll get the best out of what we've got. And do you know what? I know he's got his Liverpool connections, but I trust him. I would.
I could see Gerrard being manager. The only thing that would worry me is if the job at Liverpool came up while he was with us, and we were slowly building something up, and then he obviously Liverpool came calling. I think his heart would rule his head on that one.
Eddie Howe for me is a weird one. You just don't know where he wants to go. He's coming out on all these different programs and stuff, and he still looks unmoved, as if
I don't think Eddie Howe's the future, to be honest. I think if the takeover does go through, like you say, a big name like Steven Gerrard, Allegri, somebody
get Jurgen. Me, if it came available, get Jurgen.
Yeah. Klopp would do brilliantly here, wouldn't he? Really, I mean, he takes a lot of hammer, Jurgen Klopp, when Liverpool have lost a game because he's, people say, oh, he whinges all the time, and that's just because he's a serial winner. He wants to win.
The thing is, though, Paul, he's raised the bar as well because he's won the Champions League and he's also won them that first Premier League title. So you got to remember the expectations have gone up. But let's be honest, they're probably 12-year-old kids who don't understand the history of Liverpool and what it takes to win stuff. But
exactly,
listen, I think once you win things, the bar is there, and you've got to stick to that bar. And if you start losing to Brighton at home and then you lose to Burnley, fans have become very restless. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. definitely. John says Joe Linton should not get paid at all. Well, I think we're all of that opinion.
Shouldn't be.
No, he shouldn't. Geordie says Southampton get battered off Man United 9-0. They have injuries and suspensions, but just watch, they will turn up to St James's Park and turn us over. I'm honestly, for once in my life, well, not once in my life, because I was confident for the Palace game, and I made a fool of myself on Monday night because I said it would be 3-0 or 3-1.
What's wrong with that after what's wrong with that after a 2-0 win against Everton? No wrong with that.
Just the way we played at Goodison and the way we seemed to be much more organised and actually, we were attacking with a bit of pace, and then suddenly it disappears again the other night. But hey ho, Southampton. I mean, I don't know whether you caught us before, Shark. You were talking about Hoos and Hardle's come out and said that they're down to the bare bones at Southampton. Is that a ploy to throw us off, or I know they do have injuries, and he's got no reason to lie, I guess. But they've still got some decent players who can win a game for them.
Yeah, I love their side actually. They're a very high attack and pressing side, so they will put us under pressure right from the off, and we've got to deal with a high press. I love that partnership with Che Adams and Danny Ings. That's something that we need. They're like someone who's going to partner alongside Wilson, and grab goals. Ward-Prowse for me, I would love to see him at Newcastle. He's so good for like free kicks, and he was unlucky the other day actually. But not only that, he could drive forward, man. He's that sort of midfielder that we're missing who can just get at the defence and have a go. Do you know what I mean?
Peter mentioned Ward-Prowse before. I mean, that's what we've got to be careful of, is not to give stupid free kicks away on the, round about the, 18-yard box, because he is absolutely deadly with free kicks.
Walcott as well. I think he's been a problem with us in the past, not just at Southampton, but Everton and Arsenal. The lad's got pace to burn. And if you remember in the corresponding fixture, he had Jamal Lewis on toast. Obviously, he's still learning, the young kid, but he really struggled at St Mary's, and it could have been, let's be honest, 4-5-6 to Southampton that night. We were awful.
That's my worry, and we said we spoke about this before. Is Walcott going against Lewis? I think a torrid time could be had. Paul says, Geordie, totally agree. Can I come on now? I don't know, Sean. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with your connection, mate. It's all over the shop. I can't even sort of hover over you. You've disappeared again, but every time I hover over you, your screen just goes black. I don't know what's happening. Geordie says, instead of Joe Linton being fined £200 for breaking COVID law, he should be made an example of instead. Peter, you said this before. He needs to be, the club should have come out and made a stronger statement than they did, and actually explained to everybody how they're going to deal with him. I know you're laughing, Sharky, because the club never comes out with any statement.
No. Do you know what, Paul? I'm laughing. It's just copy and paste from Newcastle. You won't hear much.
Yeah, it is. But I know, Peter, you were quite angry about it.
Well, yeah, I mean, 200 quid's not enough. I know it was from the police, but the club should be doing a lot more as well. You've got the number 9 shirt at this football club, even though you don't deserve to wear the thing, because he's been that much of a waste. But still...
That pisses me off on a daily basis now, seeing that.
Does he not watch other people when they go and break COVID rules?
Yeah, I know. I mean, I said on Monday night, didn't I? I mean, he goes and gets a haircut. My 8-year-old son is sitting downstairs with an afro like he's a white Jamaican.
I'm desperate for a cut. I can't go out and get a cut.
You can trampoline on my son's hair at the minute, man. It's that spongy. And I want to take the shears to him and shave him like a sheep. And I think I'm going to have to do that to him shortly. But the way he is, he hates me going near him with his clippers. I'm going to have to do the old tie him down stuff and, seriously, right? It's up here, his hair. Like, there's my head. His hair's up there. There's like 6 inches of pure foam in between his brow and the top of his head. And then you see Joe Linton going out and getting a haircut, and then I look at my son and go, "You grew up twat."
Honestly, he has to be one of the worst. He has to be one of the worst strikers I think I've ever seen at Newcastle United. Yeah. And it's not even down to. For me, it's not even down to price tag. It's mainly down to he's not even a footballer. I don't even think he's a footballer, and that's not even being horrible.
No, you're probably right. I don't know who scouted him, but whoever did want to shoot.
The one sacked.
Tom, good evening. Richard, there is an agenda against us, clearly. Yeah, we were talking about David Luiz before, Sharky, just before you came on, actually, about that sending off, and me and Peter can't believe that hasn't been rescinded. But the new rule states that had David Luiz actually made a tackle, he wouldn't have been sent off had he given away the penalty. But because he didn't
touch him.
He didn't attempt to win the ball. That's why he was sent off. Where is the sense in that?
Honestly, Paul, he didn't touch him. He fell over his own feet and he went down for me. It wasn't even a pen. It was never a red card. It's actually, if anything, it's a goal kicked Arsenal. It's a free kick to Arsenal from that keeper takes a game on play. Like, what's going on? Like, and the Ben Direct one was an absolute joke as well. I mean, I'm glad that's been rescinded. Yes, okay, it doesn't do well for us, but Mike Dean, to me, we know what Mike Dean's like at times.
Yeah, exactly. David says, thank you for letting me join. No problem, mate. Thanks for coming on. Geordie says, take defenders off and replace them with forwards is just Sunday League tactics. Peter, we said this before, mate. Throwing all the forwards on as usual, trying to get the equaliser, and it just didn't work for him.
I mean, that just baffled me. And bringing Carroll on with like 2 minutes left in the game, I mean, what is that going to do? Is that going to get you anything with that amount of time left?
Yeah,
Steve Bruce has lost the plot, man.
Of course he has, without a shadow of a doubt. Gordon, I don't know whether you were putting a comment in there, but you've just ghosted us, so thank you very much for that. Valerie, it was a bloody good laugh on Monday. Thanks very much.
Oh, it sure was.
Sharkies, you'll be on Monday with us, back on your usual spot for coming in for Barry.
Well, I'm just a sub, but hey, you know I am.
Matey,
I do have a laugh in the background though. I do laugh at it. It is fun.
You know you're welcome on at any time anyway. Absolutely. You were one of the original members, so you're still a member as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, yeah.
But no
I'll
doubt
give us a chance.
Exactly. And Barry's actually, really thankful of that because he's actually started his YouTube channel now as well. He's done a couple of reviews. He's done a couple of reviews. So like you said, you wanted to give somebody an opportunity.
What's his channel called? I'll give it a sub.
That's a good question.
If he's watching, if he can give his channel into the thing, I'll give it a subscription. I like watching Newcastle channels, so
yeah, he might be on nights. But I think I put the channel. Well, yes, I did. His description is in the link. His description.
I'll go back
his links
to
in the description. Show. I'll get my words out in a minute. His links in the description on the other show. Jesus, I don't know what's happening with me tonight. Jeez, Geordie,
is it not that kebab?
It might be, mate. It's repeating on me. I've got the taste of dead lamb in my throat. It's not good.
Steve Bruce, that's his favourite meal, kebab.
I know. It's just a one-off for me, though, mate. I'm trying to lose some weight, not put it on like Steve Bruce. Geordie says those famous words that shall not be repeated on this channel. NUFC Match Report says, just see Joe Linton banging on the barbershop door in York trying to get his beard shaved. Oh, my God. It's starting again. Eddie Howe, maybe it's not Eddie Howie, but Eddie Howe certainly. Geordie says Diego Simeone.
Oh man, I absolutely love this manager. Like he's like literally a dream to have.
Yeah, he's an animated guy, that's for certain.
Oh, yeah.
I like it.
Would you go for him, Peter?
Do you know what? I like a manager who is honest and just says it as it is, not Bruce and just making up crap.
Yeah, definitely, totally agree. Would you have him, Pete?
Yeah, I would actually. I forgot about it.
It doesn't get mentioned very much anymore, but he's doing a cracking job at that.
He's a one-club manager, though, isn't he? Like he was. Yeah. I think he was in the Argentinian league. That he went to Madrid. Now he's been there ever since.
Gordon says I'd have the Spurs boss, which we all know as Uncle Mourinho.
Not now, I wouldn't. I think he's a bit of a journeyman now. I think that's what he's turned into. He's got all like club to club to club. I think he's another one.
Yeah, I can see why you say that. I mean, I think for nostalgic reasons with Sir Bobby, I'd love to see maybe for a couple of seasons, see how he did. But I think, like you said, it's gone now. I think, his best days are well behind him. Doesn't matter who's available. Money talks. If we are the richest club in the world, all top managers will want the job. Peter?
I think that... Go on, Peter.
That is possible, yeah, you could say.
James?
I was about to say, even without the takeover, I'm sure like some managers deep down would want to take the club, but then they'd be told by their other mates, like, don't take it. Do you remember when Pardew got offered the job and apparently some of his mates said, don't take the job, but he goes, it was too hard, it was too difficult to turn down. I think it's the pull of the fan base that, for a lot of managers that want to go and actually give it a go.
Without a doubt. Michael Kelly says, my choice as well would be Gerrard. Andrew Seaton says Steven Gerrard. You're getting some support with Gerrard shout there without a shout.
Do you know what though? He's just, I love his passion. Like he just, I don't know. I just feel like he could do something here. Like if there was a takeover, give him some investment, Let him put a squad together, like what he's doing at Rangers. Think how difficult they were in. They were in a difficult moment a couple of years ago. He could do it here, but we'll have to wait and see.
Well, the thing is with Gerrard, he'd be able to attract the big players, wouldn't he? He's a big name.
Absolutely.
So he'd be able to attract the big players, and that's what it's all about. Paul Jackson says, I'd have Hilda friggin' Ogden over Bruce. I'm not sure she's got a good look anymore, to be honest, unless she's going to, have a resurrection. John Bruce says, can you see Gerrard coming here? He will not leave Rangers for us. I think he would if we were taken over. And we had a plan in place without a shadow of a doubt. Truth Teller, good evening, said we should sign Spanish free agent Finn Garan Diaz. He penetrates defenders. I've never heard of him.
I've heard of him as well, actually.
No, never heard of him. Get John Sinclair. What, as manager? I think that would be a really difficult job for John to do, to be honest. Geordie says Ralph Hasenhüttl. Do
you know what? It's a good show, that. It's a good show.
It is.
In a takeover, it's a good show because he's doing. Do you know what? I feel so bad for him though. Like if you've had 1-9-0 against Leicester, and then you have another one. I mean, let's be fair. The one on Tuesday night was not a true reflection of the Leicester one because they were playing a lot of youngsters. But do you know what? I think he is a good manager though. But he probably could just do with a bit more money.
Yeah, I mean, Southampton, Peter, have done really well this season, haven't they? I mean, they were at one stage fourth or fifth in the table.
Yes.
And I think Sharky's right there when he says about money. Had he been given a bit more money and got a bigger squad together, things could be different for Southampton.
Absolutely, Southampton could be well up there if they got a few extra decent players in.
Without a shadow of a doubt. Andrew Seaton says, John Bruce, yes, if you give him 200 million for quality players. If a takeover happened and he was given plenty of money, then yes, without a doubt. Yeah. Somebody like Steven Gerrard could attract some very, very big name players.
Young coach as well. He's only young, he's not old. You know what I mean? He's doing well at Rangers. He's got plenty of time.
And he's a big name player with big name contacts, let's face it. He will have plenty of contacts and players will want to play for him.
What about the letters that Bruce has been receiving? I mean, he's not better, is he?
Do you know what? Bollocks to them, Sharky, to be honest.
Oh, I had to put that in there.
I've never seen anybody come forward on social media or anything saying they've written a letter to Steve Bruce. I have a feeling what it'll be. It'll be school kids. You know what I mean? School kids. Let's write a letter to the Newcastle United manager. Like 6 and 7-year-olds. Nothing like your Tattlegate Neb done out like that. You're finished. And, yeah. I'd love to see these handwritten letters just to see what kind of handwriting it is.
Do you mean crayon? Do you mean crayon something you could just scribble out?
Yeah, little crayon pictures of Steve Bruce looking like a snowman, with a tiny little head and the fat body and the little sticks for legs. That sort of thing. Geordie says, do you think Callum Wilson is our best forward since Alan Shearer?
Demba Ba for me.
Really?
Yeah, Demba Ba was probably. Demba Ba could bang the goals in.
Yeah,
I think it's too early for Callum Wilson because he's only had one season, whereas like Demba Ba had a few seasons, and he obviously went to Chelsea. But to be fair, I loved that partnership with Papi Cisse and Demba Ba. I mean, I know it was under Pardew, but we had a good side then. 11, 12
to be honest, I mean, I think as well, Demba Ba got service. It's something that Callum Wilson's had very little of. If we're thinking about it that way, get John Sinclair because he will get us 15 million for Joe Linton. Do you know he's not even on the show? He's getting hammered.
I can't believe I put it. I said, John, how much would you sell Joe Linton for? I was expecting to say nothing. He went 15 million quid. I mean, what the heck?
My chin, I've still got a dint in my chin from where I did
what though, Paul, right? I couldn't care if the club lost 40 million quid. I'd just let him go for free. That's how much I don't care about him.
Yeah, personally. I mean, the fact that the amount of money he's going to cost us in wages as well. We just
don't even remind me of his weekly wages.
He's on 90 grand a week or something, isn't he? I mean, it's outrageous. I mean,
what does he do?
Somebody's just looked in the magazine of him and seen him in a football kit and thought, we'll have him, he's Brazilian.
To be honest, Paul, can I just admit something? I was never I was never confident when there was talk about Joe Linton, and obviously Rafa was there at the time, and then Rafa left, and they were saying, Joe Linton's going to come in, he's going to be the next big thing. I was never sure, and I can see why I wasn't.
Yeah, I know. The whole thing baffles me. Williams says, I don't know how I feel at the moment. I felt amazing after Everton, but then Palace came and all of a sudden all of my confidence is gone again. You and 52,000 others, mate. The whole thing just drains you. I said on John's watch along, it's like sitting on a roller coaster, but there's been so many downward slopes this season. Everton was a very, steep hill back to sort of, chanting away again and enjoying watching the football. And then Crystal Palace, just like going down a drop again. And you don't know when that drop's going to end sometimes with Newcastle. Andrew says, Geordie, I would say so. Demba Ba was canny also. Yeah, we've had a few shouts for Demba Ba. Yeah, I remember some of the goals Demba Ba scored and were just outrageously good goals. Just a proven striker. I think Cisse in that, first year he was here was also incredible. Some of the goals that man scored will forever, ever, ever be legendary at Newcastle.
The one against Chelsea
both of them against Chelsea, really, at Stamford Bridge. The first one was
the one against Aston Villa when Shea Given was in it.
Yes.
His debut. Oh.
I like the one against Swansea.
Norwich as well.
Yes.
Yeah, there was some absolute fantastic goals. John Bruce says it's too easy for him in the Scottish League. Wins nearly every game. Too much of a challenge at St James's Park. Not with money.
Given the fact that Celtic were going for the 10 in a row, to be honest, Gerrard's just come in and he's literally just taken the squad by the scruff of the neck and goes, right, we're going again this season and we've brought some quality in. We're going to deny them. And to be fair, like, the 23 points clear, and there could be further points clear if it wasn't for them drawing a couple of games. But to be honest with you, I think he will move eventually. But his aim would have been take the Rangers job, win something, get some respect in my name, and then move on.
Yeah. We've got about half an hour left of this show, Sharky. Are you okay to stay on, or?
I'll stay if you want us to stay, but if you want to kick us off, you can kick us off. Well, no problem.
That sounds a bit harsh, mate. Kick me off. I'm not going to do that, am I?
Oh no! But you know me. I say give people a chance.
We're still waiting for the magical entrance of Archer, but he hasn't come up. He hasn't popped up yet. So we're still.
Where is he?
I don't know where he is. He said he sent a comment before, but he hasn't. He seems to be in the wilderness. Sean Lynch is trying to get on here, but I'm being blinded by black and white flashes in front of us. I don't know what's happened to him.
Oh, that's not a good sign.
No. Lads, honestly, do you think we will get relegated if Bruce doesn't go?
I think we'll have enough,
Peter?
It's a chance. It's a mighty... There's a chance of it happening if we don't watch ourselves. It really, really is. You can't trust this manager anymore.
No, you can't. I think we'll just survive.
Keeping out of it. It's just the teams below her that are losing games.
Yeah, we've got to be careful though, because like Brighton showed last night, results can just happen in like a flash like that, and you're in trouble. But I think we'll have enough. John says Joe Linton not good enough for Sunday League. I agree. Geordie said the club should use John Sinclair as a salesman to sell Joe Linton. Here's a chunk. Good evening. Can we swap the new coach Jones for Bruce? I think that will be the case shortly. Anyway, I'm pretty certain that if Steve Bruce is sacked, then Graeme Jones will become the interim manager. I don't see any reason that Graeme Jones would be invited to come to the club. And then, I've said this before, if Steve Bruce was sacked, they wouldn't sack Graeme Jones. He would be no way. That's just
what they'll do.
Go on.
What they'll do is that if they don't give it to Graeme Jones, if they both leave, then they'll just give it to the cheapest option, which will be the cleaner. So can't be anywhere.
Yeah, good point. Andrew says John Bruce talking to him as well. Maybe, but if we stay up, we could try for him in the summer. I think they're talking about Steven Gerrard there. Gordon says, night all lads, stay safe and look after yourselves. Good night, Gordon. Thanks for joining in, mate. Thomas says, John in, Bruce out. I think John's becoming a bit of a celebrity, lads. I think, watching his channel, he's doing like 5,000 live streams a day at the minute, so he's a busy man. But please do go and sub to his channel. I'll put everybody's channels down. I'll put everybody's channels in the description. So obviously Toon Army TV with Sharky, PD Proudlock, and John Sinclair as well. Obviously, he'll be joining us back again on Monday, so that should be a laugh on there. But he is definitely becoming a celebrity, as is this man. Good evening, Archer.
Yeah,
how are we doing?
I'm all right.
Go on and give us your thoughts of the match the other night.
Oh, it was just shocking. Like we did our week, like first half.
Yeah.
1-0 Toon. Great strike from John Joe. Then the next minute, we just literally end up playing
oh, we might as well just play it a bit defensive for the next, and then we get beat 2-1. It's an absolute waste of. It's an absolute joke.
I think NUFC Match Reports. That is Barry. That's his channel. Sharky.
Sorry, what's he called?
NUFC Match Reports.
NUFC, right? I'll drop that as subscription when I'm finished on you. So
I thought that actually said, guys, it's Banana Man. I'm thinking, bloody hell, I've gone back in time here. What? Bloody Banana Man.
Oh, God.
No, like I say, I'll give him a sub.
Good lad. Archer, give us your thoughts for the game on Saturday and how we can win against Southampton.
I'm gonna go for 2-1 Newcastle. I want to see the new kid play, Joe Willock.
Yeah.
Give him a shot because I want to see what he's like compared to what we had last season when we had Bentaleb, because Bentaleb was absolutely shocking.
Yeah.
He was an absolute joke.
I thought he was world class, me.
Bentaleb.
Sure, that was sarcasm there, Paul.
Of course it was sarcasm. What did he take me for? Sharky, I watched your preview of the game this afternoon, and I noticed you've got Joe Willock to start alongside Hayden. I've gone the opposite way. I went Shelvey to start with Hayden and Joe Willock to come on, because I don't know whether sort of Joe Willock will be ready to start the match. But then again, if he's fit, he could start and come off after 60, 70 minutes. So it's an either or for me. Personally, I'd like to see him in the start lineup. I think he'll do a good job. But either way, we've got to make sure that we don't give silly fouls away around our box and things like that. But what do you think Willock's job will be? Is it a box-to-box midfielder, Sharky?
Yeah, well, that's what he said in his interview, so that's what I'm expecting. I've put him in the CDM role. Listen, I think it was a difficult one between Shelvey and Hayden, but I think Hayden's a safe pair of hands in terms of, like, he'll get you forward, he'll track back, he'll defend, whereas Shelvey, for me, I don't think he's too mobile. Like, he's just, he'll flash in every now and again, and obviously that goal he scored against Palace was a good one, but I think he's just tailed off a little bit. Shelvey, for me, I would like, do you know what? I would do like for like with Willock if he starts to get tired, maybe after an hour or so, and then go from there. But you know what? With Shelvey and Willock, I think we've got an option there, like two quality players on the day that can change a game. But for me, I don't want to confuse things. It's got to be a 4-2-3-1 formation. We've just got to keep it simple. We've just got to go for it. None of this. I know he went 4-3-3 diamond against Everton, and it worked, but you can't do that all the time, especially against Southampton, who are the high press. Palace, he went with, like, was it a 4-3-1-2 formation, the opposite of what I've gone with. I think we've just got to play it safe against Southampton. We can't take too many risks.
Lads, I've just had a text off one of my mates who's watching the show, and he said, I saw Archer the other day on another channel. So I don't know whose other channel you've been on, Archer, but I'll quote this direct. Is he trying to look like Jeff Hendrick? I'll let you answer that, Archer, because I'm staying out of that. Are you a big fan of Jeff Hendrick?
But me, no, he's shite. You know why? Because he's an absolute bellend. He's like Jeff Hendrick is a spitting double of Jesus. He's so crap.
I just don't think he's Premier quality.
He's not. He's definitely not.
You know what Jeff Hendrick needs? When he's on the pitch at 2-2, so he's running up and down the pitch.
Just say how you feel, Archer. Say how you feel, mate. No problem. Carl says, people saying we played our best game against Palace but still didn't win. They say 10 men behind the ball with a better team, but just putting the ball in the net was difficult. Look at pros. Yeah, I mean, I don't think the Palace game was our best game.
Definitely not.
I mean, I watched Newcastle Fans TV briefly after the game, and some of those guys who I really like, by the way. I'm not. Some of them were saying that it's the best they've seen us play in a long time, and I can understand in a way where they're coming from because of the amount of shots we had. I didn't necessarily agree with that because I thought, it was too slow, and then by the time we were getting into the final third, Palace was shutting us down. Shots were flying over the bar, and we didn't test the keeper, Peter.
No, exactly. So it definitely wasn't the best game. I mean, how can your class at having loads of shots over the bar be one of our best? It means your shooting's off.
Yeah.
A lot of the time as well. And the shocking defender as well for the second goal.
Oh, dearie me.
I mean, it all came about from a terrible tackle from Lewis. He mistimed that, and he's mistiming tackles left, right, and centre at the minute, and obviously that cost us. But who the hell was picking Cahill up? I've absolutely
First goal
no
in 2
idea.
years,
Marking Cahill whatsoever.
First goal in 2 years, and typical it comes against Newcastle.
Yeah, he wasn't the defender he probably is now. But honestly, the way we've just gifted him that header is terrible.
It's a good finish, though. Like I'll give him that. It's a good header, but it's poor defended by us.
Well, when you've got the time to make the run and judge your jump, and actually, he would have had to think about where he was putting the ball.
He's proper placed it as well. Like he's gave Darlow no chance.
He has. It was similar to Callum Wilson's goal the other day, whereas he placed it so well, it was impossible for the keeper.
That other lad as well, is it Reederwell? Whatever. So that was a good strike, to be fair.
Yeah. I mean, I think Darlow would have had that, had it not hit Kieran Clark. I think Darlow was right behind it. But obviously it just hit Clark's shoulder, didn't it? And then went up about...
Flaps for me now Darlow, though. I do feel sorry for him. He flaps a little bit, like he gets caught out too much.
I think it's time we brought Dubravka back. And again, like I said...
I was trying to say that, Paul. I think we do need to give Dubravka a chance.
He's mentioned it today in training. He said, like, just another training session, like, as if I think he's frustrated now, as if he just wants to leave.
Yeah, which we don't want that to happen because I think, like I've said in the last couple of weeks, I think now is the time where we need our very best players on the pitch. And obviously Dubravka is one of them. Geordie says, any of you been writing Brucey love letters? Archer?
No. I did write one, but apparently it didn't make it in the letterbox. Too expensive.
What did it say like?
I said a few words, but apparently it was just access denied. I mean, it wasn't even good enough to go to the book.
Can't be said on air anyway. Robert Hogg says Carlos Corberan is the next Bielsa. He's at Huddersfield at the minute. I've never heard of Bielsa till he came to Leeds. There's some good managers kicking about, definitely, without a shadow of a doubt. Tom says, how quiet has the takeover gone this week? Hopefully we'll get some news. Quieter the better for me, because I think, as long as it stays quiet, I'll be happy, because like I say, I don't want all the crap coming around about such and such planes in the air, this, that, and the other.
I know it now, I'll let you just take it one game at a time and we'll just address it at the end of the season. See what happens. If we're assessing it and it looks like it's going back to what it was, then great. But for me, if the takeover doesn't go through in the summer, I'm sorry to say it, but I've just totally given up, because what's the point? Like, this is dragging on and on and on. It shouldn't.
Yeah. Tom says, John Sinclair seen down South Shields tonight on the pier with Joe Linton with a chicken.
So you talk about takeovers. Look what I'm hearing reports about Burnley's takeover. It's put them in some sort of debt or something.
Yeah, it has. The 80. I think I was reading it earlier on. 80 million in debt or something.
I thought they had money.
Takeover. Well, this is where I have a problem with our takeover. How was ours rejected, and how on earth did theirs pass the test?
Correct.
They've instantly put the club 80 million quid in debt. It's just unbelievable.
80 million pound. Apparently, that's what's been reported. Burnley are in debt now.
Yeah, 80 million. It's a lot of money.
90.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Paul Hennessy, good evening to you, mate. Wish you would hurry up and F off and Murphy disappear as well. I'm not sure about Murphy. I think Murphy's
I like Murphy. I think he's done decent.
I like him.
Go on, Pete.
Yeah. I think Murphy's been quite decent this season.
I think he's certainly good as a backup plan, isn't he? He's cover for injuries. He's.
I see him as a first team.
Yeah,
I really do. I think there's somewhere for him. Like, when we signed him, you're not going to pay 12 million quid and then not play him. Do you know what I mean? I find it a bit.
Yeah, he's definitely improved, hasn't he, since he come to the club? I think the loan spells have done him the world of good, which is why I don't understand why Sean Longstaff wouldn't go out on loan.
Should have went. I think that was his decision. I think he made the wrong call. I think he believes he can get back into the side, but I believe he's down the pecking order now. He's not going to get another Willock, is he?
No way. They wouldn't have brought Willock in if that was the case. They're not going to bring Willock in for 6 months. And
Even Jeff Hendrick is like the first name on the team sheet these days.
Jesus, stop swearing, Sharky, will you?
Well, he is.
John Bruce says,
I don't know why. I don't know why.
I know, exactly. John Bruce says all those Brazil football players, and we end up with Joe Linton, who really isn't a footballer. Jordy says Joe Linton will have to go to Bristol for a trim of his mate.
Well, he's not called Joe Linton, he's called Slow Linton.
Slow Linton. It'll take him a long time to get to Bristol in the first place. But poor John's stuck in Bristol, bless him. Not that I'm saying anything bad about Bristol, understand. Troll says it's like high noon shootout, only we come with a water pistol and the other come with a Magnum 357. That's right. I mean, other clubs, when they seem to play us, when they have shots on goal, they have shots on goal, and they cause us problems. And then when we go at the shooting gallery, Jesus Christ. We've got some comment coming up here from Andrew Archer.
Oh, yeah, that's before
Once Ashley sells up, he can work as a fishmonger, but Ashley is a huge clown. Never mind Joe Linton. Beard, Joe Linton should have a tutu. Well, you've mentioned that live on the show as well, Archer, so you got your words in. Brian says he got fined £1 for every minute he played well at NUFC. I don't know who you're talking about there, Brian. Tom Dixon, a couple of more wins, and I think we'll be safe. I do as well. I think it's going to be close. I think it'll go down the wire. I think we've got some very difficult games ahead of us. After Southampton, there is some very, very difficult games.
After Southampton, I've got Chelsea and Man United.
Yeah. So they're not going to be easy games.
I think it's going to be like another low points tally for like the bottom three. Because if you look at Fulham, West Brom and Sheffield United, they cannot win games. Well, Sheffield United are starting to put a bit of a run together, but Fulham, they draw more games than, they're losing at the minute now. So Sheffield United, I mean, they're starting to put a fight up, but I think it'll be a little bit too late. And so for West Brom as well, I think they're gone as well. But Fulham might have a chance, but it could be a low record points tally.
I think West Brom are going to finish bottom,
Probably.
Yeah, just watching them the other night when they played Sheffield United, they were very, very poor after taking the lead as well. And I just think, they've brought Sam Allardyce in as this some sort of miracle worker, and he's
done in football now. Allardyce.
He's too old. He's finished.
Brighton, I like Brighton. I think they get a lot of criticism, but I think Graham Potter's a good manager, and I think he's getting the best out of what he's got.
Well, we said it when they beat us. They looked a very, very good side. I mean, we were shocking at home to Brighton, weren't we? We were really bad, but they played really well on the day. They went downhill after that, they were never really tongued, were they? They've never like...
Brighton know how to win. They know how to beat you. Yeah. They'll look at you and think, we'll beat them.
Jody says, I don't believe that the squad we have is good enough to get not to be relegated. Well, again, it's everybody's opinion, and I think it's going to be very, very close. I mean, don't get us wrong. I think we will stay up, but I think, like you, Sharky, it's going to be very low points totals, and it'll be one of them. It's just that much of a strange season at the minute. You can't predict anything.
The thing is, Paul, I mentioned before, the board are relying on Fulham not to do anything because we've got an 8-point buffer. If we lose games, but Fulham are not winning games either, and West Brom and Sheffield United don't do anything, he stays in the job because he thinks, he's got enough points.
Very true. Brian says, or feeling that I have Tommy Cooper over Bruce. Yeah. I don't think Tommy Cooper's got a good look about him these days either.
By the way, I don't want Bruce here, but what I'm saying is that they'll look at that as like the buffer of like points that we've got.
Yeah. I mean, I don't subscribe to all this stuff, Peter, about Newcastle fans wanting us to lose and just so Bruce can get out the club. I would never want my team to lose.
No, definitely not. You support them at the end of the day. You want them to do well. Yeah. But it's just the manager. You can't trust them anymore.
Paul Hennessy says need to get rid of the likes of Murphy, Hayden and Shelvey. Really?
Oh, Hayden's a big call for me. You know what, Murphy? If we got money back off Murphy, fair enough. Shelvey, if we got the money back off him, but Hayden for me, no. I think we've got to keep.
No, I think Hayden's going out.
Hayden's a leader.
Yeah,
Murphy I do like, but if we've got the money back, then fair enough, we can replace him. The same with Shelvey. I think Shelvey has lost a yard of pace. I know he scored the other day, but he has. You've got to look at Shelvey. He's not the same Shelvey that was signed 4 years ago. Do you know what I mean? Like Hayden, for me, he's getting better and better and better, and you've got to keep your better players. That's important.
Without a shadow of a doubt. I'm a bit surprised at that one, Paul. But again, it's all about people's opinions, and you're quite welcome to yours. You know, everyone's got a different opinion about football. That's the beauty of it sometimes. Tom says, who would you play in goal on Saturday? Well, we've all come to a unanimous decision that would be Dubravka.
Dubravka's got to come back in.
Yeah.
Oh, no, in my starting 11, it's actually Darlow. But if I was to choose, I would definitely go Dubravka. But
Yeah, I said Darlow as well, but I wouldn't be disappointed to see Dubravka back. So I've said either or.
Hey, Bruce does strange things. He could be back. You never know.
Steve Bruce doing strange things? Never. Jordy says Dubravka. I think a lot of people are wanting him back now. William says Jones being sent to the stands is embarrassing, to be honest. It just shows Bruce's embarrassment after Jones got the credit for the Everton win. He just couldn't accept it for some reason. What did you think of that, Archer? Sorry, go on, Sharky.
No, it was on that exact point. My understanding is, and if you watch a lot of Lee Ryder, who's at the games,
yeah,
he basically said apparently he chose to watch from afar. Like, it's not a bad thing, like, if he's watching from afar to see like how we're going about games, because you got to remember he's come in and we've changed the formation on two different occasions, and he's probably looking at the side thinking, right, okay, I've had an up and close view from away from home at Everton. I might just watch from afar and see what's going on to see where we can improve. If something's going wrong, I'll give a word into Steve Bruce's ear. He might say a few things, or he might go on and say a few things, in the dugout. But you know what? It's not a bad thing. Like, I wasn't so fussed about it at the end of the day. Like, obviously, I understand Steve Bruce is the head coach somehow, but with Graeme Jones, I think he's just wants to see like how we're playing, because he's quite new to the job, so he wants to see how we play. Do you know what I mean? And to see how we get the best out of the side and how Bruce could maybe do something differently. I don't know what you are thinking, but Lee Ryder said it was basically a watch and brief, and that's what he's come out and said. But
yeah,
I don't know who it was.
Yeah, it just seems very surprising to me, considering the impact that he had on the team on Saturday.
Well, we'll see. Like, you know what though, we'll see on Saturday against Southampton if he does.
Yep. Jake says Archer is the diplomat of this group.
What?
Apparently, you're a diplomat now, Archer. So you're moving up in the world.
Just need to get you on YouTube, and then we're sorted.
Exactly. Let's have a look. Corey says Dubravka back in goal. Think he needs to be back. Yes, we all agree with that.
Yes.
Geordie says Dubravka without a doubt. Paul said should give Gale more time with Wilson up top. He would get us more goals.
Said that.
Yeah. I'm not so sure myself. To be honest, I'm not sure where Dwight Gale's head is at the minute.
He's leaving. He's gone for me.
He's going to go at the end of the season.
Him and Carroll at the end of the season, they're finished.
He didn't make any impact for me against Palace. I think, for me, Andy Carroll should have been on, because we were putting balls into the box. It was just screaming out for Andy Carroll. Yet he brings Dwight Gale on, and then he gives Carroll the last 3 minutes of the game. I mean, who's
the manager?
Exactly. It does my head in. Geordie says Fulham versus Newcastle is the last game of the season and could well be huge for both. Can you imagine what that would be like?
I'm picturing it like literally 17th versus 18th. Newcastle in 17th, Fulham 18th, and Fulham decent and daft and end up going down, because that's what we do.
Oh, it's frightening, that thought. John Bruce says we have some good players. It's the management that's the problem. Undoubtedly. Charles Thing says, anyone think Bruce should live in caves or under bridges? Fair enough. That's your opinion, mate. Jake says, I hope you do stay up. Jake's a Leeds fan, by the way. But he's a regular on the show. He's a good lad. I hope you do stay up. But you had a good team the last time you went down. Poor managers will always drag good players down to their level. He's got a point there. We've seen that this season, without a doubt, that he is bringing us down, without a doubt. John says Paul must be smoking something. Why? What have I said that I must be smoking something?
You've said something, Paul. You've said something.
I have. Please explain that comment, John, because I'm not quite sure what you mean. I have been smoking something funny. I'm not. Did I make a comment earlier about something that you guys disagreed with, or I don't know? Geordie says Ashley must be kicking himself, paying 250 grand for Jones, and a week later they could have got Jones for nout. Yeah,
actually. Jones has actually dodged the bullet here, because he could have had relegation. Sorry, he could have sacking on his CV, and he hasn't. He's walked out at the right time.
Yeah, I think he knew the writing was on the wall. I think he knew what was coming, because I don't think that's been a knee-jerk reaction by the Bournemouth board. I think that's been actually on the cards for a while now.
I was watching their channel the other day, because I do know their fans. Like, I know the people that run it, but like they were saying, like Frank Lampard could be the contender. Apparently, he wants the job because he sees them like as a big planning project, like for next season. They have, but not to forget, they have got money as well behind them. The owners quite rich.
he's also related to Harry Redknapp, is Lampard, isn't he? So
yeah.
And Harry Redknapp's very well thought of down there, so no doubt he's put a word in. But there has been a lot of shout for John Terry, mind, for the Bournemouth job, and that's actually come from Harry Redknapp as well.
Work together, like Lampard and Terry work together. Like Terry is number 2, Lampard is number 1, or vice versa. Just work together as a side, as a team, and then get the result.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad shout. Actually, I think they do well. Paul Hennessy says, "Would you take Mitro back?" Archer, I'll let you answer that one.
No chance.
Hell no.
No,
not anymore. No.
What's he doing? You tell me, right? Mitrovic may be a nice guy, and I had this thing with Newcastle Fans TV, and I said, like, I didn't rate him. I'm glad he left. Maybe a nice guy, but what is he actually done for Fulham in the top flight, apart from bang a few goals in the Championship? What's he actually done? That was my point when he was at Newcastle. I said he's not good enough for top flight football.
Yeah, I agree. I think I watched him last night as well, and he missed a glorious chance.
Thing is, they've been down once already in the 18-19 season, and they're about to go down again with the same player as their number 9.
Yeah, I know. It's very... there's just something about Mitro that's just not quite there for me. 1 minute he's hot, and then he goes missing for weeks on end, and he's not prolific enough. Fulham... Scott Parker left him out for weeks, hasn't he? And then he's just recently brought him back into the side. He's not prolific enough.
There's a shout.
Steve McLaren failed with the likes of Beckham, Scholes, and Rooney. So, to be honest, it wasn't a surprise when he struggled with us.
Because of his time at England, he absolutely failed with them players.
I'll tell you what, though, there, Paul. There's a shout for Newcastle manager.
Who?
What?
Scott Parker. Even without a takeover, like someone who could galvanise a side. I mentioned this a few months back. He's a shout.
He is. I like Scott Parker. He seems to have his head screwed on for once. I do think he's a possibility. John said, "Sorry, it's a comment that someone put out that Shelvey and 2 others need to go." Oh, right. So you were talking about. I think he was called. Yeah, he was called Paul. Was it Paul Hennessy? Has he been smoking something tonight? Actually, putting about Hayden needing to go. It's everybody's opinion, though, John. And he's quite entitled to it. Tom says, "What's your prediction and lineups for Saturday?" We're pretty. I think we're all pretty much agreed on the lineup. What we want to see, definitely a 4-2-3-1. Willock or Shelvey, whoever. Go on, then, Archer.
I was going to say I would definitely like to see ASM back on the side. Like,
I don't. By the way, after this Palace result, I do not want to see Steve Bruce revert back to 5 at the back because he hasn't ruled it out, and I hope he doesn't. No. He better not.
No, that would be an absolute criminal offence. Tom says Cabaye would probably do a good job for us. He's still
what a player
for a club. I absolutely love Cabaye, me. He's one of my favourite players when he was here. You what, Archer?
I would take him any day, Cabaye, even though he's 35 and a free agent.
Yeah.
Where's he just left? Who has he just left these days?
He was playing in France. I can't remember who it was for, but he's a free agent now.
Honestly, I had the pleasure of obviously going to the games to watch him. A fantastic footballer, honestly.
All right, without a doubt. Do you know what? I'd have him back. I'd have him back for certainly 18 months anyway. I know he's 35, but why not?
The thing is, Pardew got some criticism, but I tell you what, the football actually wasn't that bad when he put that side together. Right, you didn't buy the players. We came 5th. That was great football. Even the season after the goal at Old Trafford, we had players that could actually score goals. It was great.
We've said this before. Pardew didn't do that badly until the last few months he was here. And I think, some of the football, like you mentioned there, Sharky, the Man United away game, that break, I will never forget. The way we broke out and then scored, limbs were going everywhere. Literally limbs were everywhere.
Do you know what? I feel sorry for him when he left, though, because it was always going to happen. The old managers at Newcastle, it starts really well, ends really badly, and it's all down to one man at the top. There you go. Of course it is.
But even the way Cabaye left, a lot of fans had a go at him.
I didn't.
You know what I mean? Paris Saint-Germain came in for him. What's he going to do? Oh, no, I'll stay here where we're going to win now.
Win trophies. Can't win trophies.
Exactly. Truls says our club's hierarchy. Exactly. That's what it all boils down to. Geordie says, do you think we should sell Muto in the summer or give the lad the first team?
I'll definitely sell him.
Yeah, Muto's not going to have a future.
What does Lee Charnley actually do? What's his job?
Well, that's I think he was seen once against Leicester, wasn't he? And I don't think he's been seen since. I don't get what his job is. I think it's just a whipping boy for Ashley, really. But never mind, we're never going to know. Jake says some strikers are just meant for championship level. Mitro and Gale spring to mind. They rip teams to shreds there, but just can't cut it in the Premier League. I agree. Especially Dwight Gale, Peter. He is, I've said a long time, he's a championship striker, and it's no disrespect to him. I just think he's better suited.
Exactly. I mean, he can bank double figures in that league. He's done it with us. He's done it with West Brom with about 20-odd goals. As well, when he's in the Premier League, it's definitely a single figure he normally gets, isn't it? I think the first season we got promoted, I think he only managed about 5 or 6. We know he went out on loan, and the first season under Bruce with him, I think it was only like 4 goals, and this season it's only the 1.
We've got about 5-10 minutes left, so we'll nip through some more comments before the end. Thobkirk says, I think we should sign Idrissa Gueye because him and Hayden would be like a brick wall in midfield. Well, apparently we were interested in him on transfer deadline day, but he turned us down. We're not going to attract them sort of players because of where we are. It's as simple as that. Geordie says, any Lucozade in that fridge? I think you're talking behind me.
On the screen.
I was going to say you want to get out quickly before Bruce knocks on that door.
I know. Well, I said before, Geordie made a comment that I was in the dressing room, and I said, well, I've been on a stadium tour today, and I just thought I'd hide in the toilets till everybody went so I could do the show from the dressing room. But I could only imagine you with a cleaner. We're just talking about taking the job on. Well, actually, I was trying to get John Sinclair job, or find out what he actually does at this club, because whenever he's on the show, his phone never stops ringing. Ben LD said, who would you rather have in your team now, Joe Linton or Hosselu?
Hosselu.
Oh, Hosselu all the way.
There you
go,
go,
I was to choose one of them, Hosselu.
Because Joe Linton for me just reminds me of Emmanuel Riviere.
Can I just talk about Joe Linton though, right? For me, I think, and I've said it all along, he needs to go to the Championship on loan. Not a case, I would get rid of him for free, to be fair, but if you were going to be fair on the lad, drop him into the Championship, give him a season in there, just pick a club, and if he scores like 15, 20 goals, and bring him back and see what he can do. But if he doesn't score any more than 5 or 10 goals in that Championship, there you go, and there's his level.
Yeah,
that's where he needs to learn.
I honestly think even Championship would be too much for him. The Championship, as well as I do, Sharky, that the Championship is a lot more physical.
You get bullied.
It's a battle, isn't it? Exactly.
You get bullied.
So, I don't know. Every time I watch Joe Linton, I want to scratch me back with a hacksaw. You know what I mean?
It's Paul. It's rough and tumble in there. Like, we had to deal with that with Rafa Benitez as well, like the big scalp.
Yeah. Sometimes, you look at him play and you just want to whip him like a rented mule. He just
looks disinterested.
Oh God, he just does your head in. It's the same as when the cameras pan to Steve Bruce on the sidelines.
Oh God,
it's just like I want to vomit immediately that I see his pout.
I look away from the screen when the camera pans to him. I look away from the TV and then I'll just come back and I'm like, oh, he's gone.
Yeah. Time for a coffee or something. Tom says Wilkin Hayden in the middle for Saturday's game. Yeah, I think Sharky, you said that in your preview.
I know, try and test it, give it a go, and if it doesn't work, then we'll know what to do next time.
Yeah. William says, is Ashley shooting himself in the foot if he leaves it too late, and do we actually get relegated? Yeah, we've said it. He's risking millions. He's risking absolute millions. William says, hi, lads. Will from Belfast. Love the show and the Toon. Just hope we don't go down. Good evening, William. Thank you very much for joining. By the way, if you've enjoyed what you've watched, do hit the like button, even if it's on the rerun. Please do subscribe to the channel. I think coming on this show, both me and Pete were on exactly the same subscribers. We're both stuck on 931. So if you can both help us get to 1,000, that would be amazing, because Sharky's way on 3,600 or whatever.
Hey, that's 3.5 years hard work. I remember being in your position. It's not easy.
It's not
easy at all.
But don't do what John Sinclair was going to do and pay 50 quid for.
Oh, do you know what? Do you know what it is? It's been an absolute slog, this whole YouTube thing. Like I say, I remember being in your position, but for me, it's not about likes, or it's about the people who watch your channel and comment, and that's what I appreciate more.
Of course it is. I'll put everybody's links to the channels in the description below, so please do go subscribe to Sharky at Toon Army TV and Peter, obviously, at PD Proudlock. Archer, I don't think you've got a channel, have you? Because you're not allowed on YouTube.
No, it's just
you're not allowed on YouTube.
No, I haven't got myself a channel, which is something I need to something to plan. But obviously at the minute, I like to come on people's channels and like just pretty much discuss about
That's what
the
on. They get it on mine.
No,
I'd actually heard rumours that you've got an OnlyFans account, Archer.
I tell you now.
Where's that come from?
Rumours go around the internet, you know what I mean? Anyway, Geordie says Kabay was at St Etienne the last time I heard. Yes, that's it. He was released from St Etienne. Yep. Paul Jackson says, great show, lads. All the best. Thanks, Paul. Paul Hennessy, I'd love Genie back at the Toon. Yeah,
he's going to Barcelona, isn't he?
Yeah, of course he is. I think, well, he'll either stay at Liverpool or he'll go to Barca. I think Barca has shown a lot of interest in him.
Next summer he'll go there when the season's done. Yeah.
Genie, you've got two options here. On the left-hand side, you have Newcastle United. On the right-hand side, you have Barcelona. Which pill would you like? It's obvious which one he'd go for.
But he left with the first place, though. Like, went down. He wasn't exactly committed, though, was he? I don't blame him, like, but I can see why he left. But at the same time,
do you know what it is? He never really performed away from home for us.
He wasn't.
He was anonymous away from home.
No, he was anonymous away from home.
Yeah.
And I think throughout the second half of the season when we got relegated as well.
Yeah. John says Joe Linton for the Sunday League. Yeah, I think that's
he's struggling
right.
that as well.
Thomas, what would you rather have, a Brucey special or a Boris lockdown? A Boris lockdown any day of the week. Paul says Joe Linton, the Hartlepool. Hey, I tell you what, he's been banded around a few clubs here. John won't mind that. Tom says, where is Ben Arthur now? I know he'd probably not return under Bruce because they had a big row. He's still playing.
What another good player he was. Ben 10, fantastic.
I think Ben Arthur's at Marseille. I think, is he?
I think he's at one of the smaller French teams now. I don't think he's at the big name ones. I seen a clip of him on Twitter the other day, and I didn't recognize the strip. I didn't because I watch a bit of French football, and I didn't really recognize the strip, but I know it's one of the lower teams.
Just had a look. He's playing for Bordeaux now.
There you go. Geordie says, great stream, lads. Thanks for your input, Geordie. As always, Championship did wonders for Grealish. Get Joe Linton experience down there.
Said that, yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Submit to help.
Last few comments. Jules says, let's ask Amanda to pay out Bruce as a fan. Yeah, good luck with that. Tom says, great show tonight, lads. Thanks very much. Jake says, cheers, lads. Best of luck this weekend. And to you, Jake. Jules says, good show, lads. Steve Bruce is on the show, ladies and gentlemen. Well, you know.
Do you know what though, Paul? My only fear is if we start pulling some results together, let's say like next season we'll get off to a good start and he's still have to give him a new contract. I hope they're not. Please do not give him a new contract. Yeah. And you know what? If I can, I don't want him here anyway. But if I can persist until next summer when his contract's done, I'll take it. If I know we're going to get a new manager in, but I just don't want us to. I know you were saying like you don't want to lose games. Of course you don't, but I just don't want him to sign that new contract if they give him one. I hope it never happens.
I'd agree. But we need, we as fans would love to see a project in place or something, wouldn't we? Like a long-term plan. But that with Newcastle United just never
project
happens.
For Steve Bruce is to look at kebab shop. That's his project. Exactly. 90 minutes. All right, let's go.
Luke Portier says, just subscribe, mate. I love your vids and Bruce out. Thank you very much. Like I said earlier, do subscribe to Sharky's Toon Army TV and Peter's PD Proudlock. Links in.
Get them over to OK. Help them out. Help these lads out. They're good.
We want to get to 1,000. I mean, John wants to get. Do you know why John said he wanted to get to 1,000? He wants to get the what's that? The dollar sign at the bottom. The
monetization.
Yeah,
I tell you what, mind that, and I can speak from experience. I mean, it's not a lot. You've got to really get the views in. Like, I mean, to be honest, I can get like, say if I do a review, I can get like say 1,000 views or even 2,000 views. I'll be lucky if I get like £1.50. It's not great.
No, I'm talking about the super chats. I mean, the people.
The super chats. For me, it's not about taking money off people. For me, it's just about just giving people a voice.
See, the reason I mentioned it too, I was gonna, if I get the option to have super chats on my channel, I will put it on there. But my money will go to the Parkinson's Foundation. Obviously, because as you know, I suffer from Parkinson's, so. For me, any money that I would make off YouTube doing something like super chats, I would donate to Parkinson's Foundation because they've done so much for me. It would like say to me, I'm giving a little bit back to them. You know what I mean?
Or you can help. You can help out your own channel as well by like if someone like invests their own time into giving you some money, then obviously you can use it to help your channel. Like,
that's fair enough. I mean, obviously, if super chats came in and I had enough to like buy a new light or something, you know what I mean. But my main priority, 80% of that money would go to Parkinson's because of what they've done for me since I got diagnosed. You know, it's important. It's important for me. Anyway, Taylor says, Paul, you should do a watch along. I think I would be banned off Twitter. Off YouTube if I ever did a watch along live. I have to watch what I'm doing on John's channel because I do a lot of watch-alongs with him. And if I do let it go too far, then
we just want to be in the stadiums, or don't. I mean, let I mean, I'm all for these people who like don't live anywhere near the ground and they do like watch-alongs and that. But for me, I'm just more for like I want to watch I want to go and watch as much as I criticize. I want to be in that stadium to watch them live.
Yeah. Somebody's put an angry face on the live stream on Facebook. I'm not sure why. What I have noticed is there is some serial dislikers. I don't know whether you guys notice it on your channels.
Yeah, I got one on myself. I haven't one today, but I didn't let it get to us personally. Do you know what? For me, like people get so like paranoid about like likes and dislikes. For me, I'm like lost personally.
I just leave it now. I'm thinking, well, whatever. If you don't like it, you don't like it. You know.
Do you know what the Paul? What I like about it is if I put a video together, right, and I'm getting some interaction, I think that's absolutely great for me. That's what I'm about. The communication.
Yeah, definitely. Right, Ben Arthur's at Bordeaux, and then Paul says Ben Arthur's at Nice.
Definitely Bordeaux.
Well, Ben Arthur's in France. We know that.
No, he's at Bordeaux because I've just seen it. He's just seen it there. Yeah. He's on Bordeaux.
Bordeaux did ring a bell with me when you said it. Tom says, is Joe Linton back on the show on Monday evening? Yes, he is. He shall be with me, James and Peter on the Four Horsemen. James is back on covering for Barry. Resurrected back like a phoenix from the flames. This Sharky
a bit like what Archer said with Jeff Hendrick. A bit like Jesus. You know, I'm back on.
Exactly. We feel very honoured to have.
No, but honestly, Paul, I'm all for giving other fans a chance. I hate being like obviously I do YouTube myself, but I feel like I'm being a bit over. I don't like to be a dominant force. I'd rather give other people a chance of having their own say.
Don't worry. I love you. I love having you on my show, mate. And
that's great.
Well, everybody, to be honest. We're very honoured to have Jesus Christ on the show tonight. You know what I mean? We should always be very pleased with that. Anyway, last couple of comments before we leave. But what I will say is, on the Four Horsemen show on Monday, we're going to do a little thing called "Where's Joe Linton?" So
that's going to be fun.
I can't wait to see some of the comments we get in because we get a big following on the Four Horsemen. So to get some of the comments saying, I'm going to put it out from the start of the show, where is Joe Linton? And everybody in the live comments, I really want to come up with the funniest things that we can say for where Joe Linton is. I'm sure it will.
Oh, no, you say that. The next one will be, where's Graeme Jones?
Yeah, where's Graeme Jones? But, it should be a lot of fun on Monday. So please do tune into that 8:30 on Monday night. Paul says Spurs are getting beat again. Hey, I tell you what, they've lost a lot of form. It just proves like how much... Is it the Harry Kane effect? When Harry Kane...
Yeah, it's Harry Kane. They're all about Harry Kane, them, for me.
Yeah. Tom says, if any of you were Mike Ashley or Charlie now, what 5 things would you do to the club if you had a limit to spend?
I'd get rid of Lee Charnley for a start. I'd start getting rid of the players. I'd start ripping it. I'd take the Sports Direct signs down. Oh man, I'd be there all night.
Training ground sorted out.
Yeah.
Not a lick of paint.
Yes.
Luke says you should try do a sponsored stream for Parkinson's. If you can do that, mate, wish you the best. Like I say, I don't know how any sponsorship works on YouTube. I don't know anything about that side of things, to be honest. And to be honest, I just do it because I love it. And if, like I say, if I can make a bit of money for Parkinson's, then so be it. But we'll see. We'll hopefully see that in the future. But that's my long-term aim anyway. It's not about making money for myself. If I need a new light or a bulb or whatever, then fair enough. But like I say, it's an important. It's something that's very close to my heart for obvious reasons. They've helped me enormously for the last 3.5 years. When I've really needed them. But anyway, Steve says there's lots of Steve Bruce is back with a comment saying there's lots of keyboard warriors out there, lads. Just ignore them. Trust me.
Yeah. Like some people do get a bit paranoid, like if they get like a dislike or what. For me, I'm not. But if I'm that bothered, like why am I on YouTube? Like when you're in YouTube, you're there to be shut up. Like people are. Some will agree, some will disagree. That's absolutely fine.
Yeah, I think you need to be like a skin like a whale kind of thing.
The thing is, bad comments, just delete them. Simple as that.
Yeah. That's Steve Bruce saying Joe Linton's at Tom Baxter's Barbers. Hey, you know what? I can't wait till Monday night show to fight.
Do this. Oh no! I tell you, this is a good one. I tell you what. No, he's not going to them barbers. Watch his face. Joe Linton. He's going to John Sinclair's, isn't he? He's going to Bristol. He's up there next to his haircut.
he'd be taking him down a nice meat pie from Blythe Butchers. Yeah. Quality. Anyway, last comment is from Geordie. YouTube take like 30% of the super chats.
Yeah,
I know they do, but like I say, for me, Geordie, it's all if I can get a little bit of money towards the Parkinson's Foundation, mate, I will do it. YouTube can have the 30%. For me, anything I make on, starting from scratch for them wonderful people. For me, it's a no-brainer for me. But anyway, that's the end of the show tonight. Oh, we've got one more comment from Tom. Joe Linton is at Baxter's Barbara with John getting a nice beard trim. I get the feeling...
I mentioned it, but it was going to be the other way around.
I actually get the feeling that John Sinclair is in for an absolute battering on Monday. He's in for an absolute battering.
If we lose to Southampton, it could be even worse.
Oh, God. Don't get me started.
Wait till you hear my comments on Monday while I'm watching.
I can't wait, Archer, because, make sure with the broadcastable, though.
Oh, well.
Thomas says, great stream. Right, thanks, lads, very much for coming on. Archer, it's been a pleasure having you, having Jesus Christ on the show has been an absolute honour for me, I have to say. Please do tune in on Monday night and put your comments in. I know on Sunday you'll be busy with your church services and stuff, so but enjoy the game on Saturday. But take care, Archer. Thank you very much for coming on, my man. You've been a star.
Right, thank you very much, Paul.
Take care, buddy. Sharky, thank you very much again for joining in. And we'll see you on Monday. Like I say, I'll put Sharky's channel link in the description below. Do go follow him. Lots of Newcastle United and football content on there.
Cheers, bud.
So we'll catch you on Monday, Sharky. Take care, mate. Enjoy the game.
Yeah, Saturday. Stay safe. See you later. See you later, Peter. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Okay, Peter, thanks very much for being on from the start. It's been a blast again, and I'm sure everybody will be looking forward to the Four Horsemen show on Monday. It's 8:30 p.m. on the Toon Review channel with me, Peter, John Sinclair, and of course, Sharky will be joining us on Monday. And we'll be having, from the very, very start, where is Joe Linton? Because I think there's going to be a lot of people joining in for that one. There's some comical people out there on the live comments, and I'm sure we'll have an absolute howl at it.
I think we will. I mean, it's a great laugh every show.
I'm really pleased I started that show, actually, because it's taken off.
Yeah.
A lot of people really like watching it. So, we talk about Newcastle United. We talk about, getting beat or winning. And, we have serious football talk on there, but we also have a good laugh. And that's what it's about, especially during these times. People need to have a good laugh. They need to have a good giggle, and what better way than do that than say, "Where's Joe Linton?" or "What's John doing with Joe Linton?" Where is John Sinclair tonight with Joe Linton? All that kind of stuff. It's going to be a blast.
Oh, exactly.
But thanks for coming on, Peter.
Absolutely.
Do tune in. Do subscribe to Peter's YouTube channel because, like I say, we are on round about the same subscribers, both wanting to hit that 1,000 mark. Like I say, for us, it's not about competing with anybody. It's about helping each other's channels and
enjoying what you like doing and putting the work into your own channel as well.
Exactly. So go and subscribe to Peter's channel. Help us both get to 1,000 subscribers. It'll mean the world to us. Peter, we'll keep an eye out for your quick thoughts. See if it's as bad tempered as it was.
Also the preview tomorrow.
Yes.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, my preview's out now, so if you want to go and watch that, and then Peter's will be out tomorrow. But obviously, if you subscribe to his channel and hit that notification bell, you'll know as soon as you upload it. He's uploaded it. So thanks very much, Peter. We'll catch you again after the weekend, and enjoy the game. We'll see you on the Four Horsemen, buddy.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me again.
See you later, buddy. So there you go. That is the end of the show tonight. Thank you very much to everybody that's joined in. I'm sorry the people that tried to get on and we were having technical difficulties. I don't know what's going on, whether it's your end or StreamYard. I don't know what's going on with that. But to everyone that's been in the live comments, means the world to me. Thank you very much. If you've liked the show, then do hit the like button. If you're not subscribed to the channel for whatever reason, please do subscribe. Lots of live streams on here, lots of football previews, reviews. Mainly on Newcastle United, of course, but we have some great laughs on here as well. So do tune in. Do keep an eye out for the review of the Southampton game. And, of course, the 4 Horsemen of the Toon show on 8:30 on Monday night. That should be an absolute blast. And hopefully we'll get to celebrate 3 points as well, because at the minute we could do with something like that. 3 points, a good laugh, and see where we go from there. But thank you very much for joining, guys. Take care. Good night.
Be strong. Be strong.